Welcome back to another episode of the We Grow Together podcast. Today we are talking all about comfy, cozy, autumn, spooky season reads. These are going to be fluffy, fun, romance, romantasy, the good feelings. So if you know me, you know I love a good book and I love a happy ending. I love a happy book. I want to enjoy the journey. I want to enjoy the end where we get to. Overall, I'm all about a little bit of escapism. I love a good book and I want to enjoy the main characters. I want to enjoy the plot if there is any. Some of these are so fluffy. There's like barely any plot, if any at all. And I want to enjoy the time spent because we all have plenty of things going on in life. There's plenty of other things that can stress us and take our attention and worries and everything. I don't need to be stressing out what I'm reading. So I want to read something that's fun. So for that reason, actually specifically, you want to go into a little story time. Let's go into a little story time. So I'm an entrepreneur and also a farmer, grew up on a farm and was in a combine last week. I was combining with my dad. We actually have a whole YouTube about this that we'll share at some point, but I was combining with my dad and the combine got caught on fire because we have had such a significant drought. There's been such a crazy drought here that everything's been happening to multiple farmers around the area, but the combine caught on fire. And so we're okay. The combine is not. We got the fire trucks out there and everything. We just like hopped out. I called 911 real quick. It was a whole thing, got the fire trucks out there and everything. Nothing happened to us, but just a bit of a rocky way to have a day. So after that, I was like, I need to go to Target. I need to go buy some cozy, comfy autumn reads, spooky season reads, and need something to give me a little bit of a escapism from what's going on right now. So that's what we are here for. And so for spooky season reads, I want to share with you, I was reading right before Halloween. So last year I picked up the Hex by Erin Sterling, which is currently the editor's pick for best romance. It is so fun. It's witchy. It's spooky season, fall, light, romantasy, just all the fall feelings. If you could feel a witchy Gilmore Girls vibe, that is Graves Glen. And so I'll read to you. All of these are going to be in our show notes and linked there. They're all going to be on my Amazon storefront if you'd like to find them there as well. So I'll read to you the description. No spoilers. Erin Sterling casts a delightful spell with spine-tingling romance full of wishes, witches, and hexes gone wrong. New York Times bestseller. A delightful and witty take on witchy mayhem from Pop Sugar. And here's the description. 9 years ago, Vivian Jones nursed her broken heart like any young witch would. Vodka, weepy music, bubble baths, and a curse on the horrible boyfriend. Sure, Vivi knows she shouldn't use her magic this way, but with only an orchard hayride scented candle on hand, she isn't worried it will cause him anything more than a bad hair day or two. That is, until Reese Penhallow, descendant of the town's ancestors, breaker of hearts, and annoyingly just as gorgeous as he always was, returns to Graves Glen, Georgia. What should be a quick trip to recharge the town's ley lines and make an appearance at the annual fall festival turns disastrously wrong. With one calamity after another striking Reese, Vivi realizes her silly little ex-hex may not have been so harmless at all. Suddenly, Graves Glen is under attack from murderous wind-up toys, a pissed-off ghost, and a talking cat with some interesting things to say. Vivi and Reese have to ignore their off-the-charts chemistry to work together to save the town and find a way to break the breakup curse before it's too late. So, really light, Death has a plot, fun, rich, great characters. Just love all of the witchy, spooky season. It's going to be a really fun journey, great characters, and a great ending. So to me, one of my favorite spooky season reads. So I read that last year. And so coming up on Halloween this year, I also read the second and third book in the trilogy, which I highly recommend as well. So the second one is The Kiss Curse, a novel. And this is the second book. And then the description is the follow-up to Aaron Sterling's New York Times bestselling hit, The Hex, features fan favorite Gwyn and the spine-tingling handsome Wells Penhallow as they battle a new band of witches and their own magical chemistry. Gwen Jones is perfectly happy with her life in Gravesglen. She, her mom, and her cousin have formed a new and powerful coven. She's running a successful witchcraft shop, Something Wicked, and she's started mentoring some of the younger witches in town. As Halloween approaches, there's only one problem. Llewellyn Wells Penhallow. Wells has come to Gravesglen to reestablish his family's connection to the town they founded, as well as to make a new life for himself after years of being the dutiful son in Wales. When he opens up a shop of his own, Penhallow's just across the street from Something Wicked, he quickly learns he's gotten more than he bargained for in going up against Gwyn. When their professional competition leads to a very personal and very hot kiss, both Wells and Gwyn are determined to stay away from each other, convinced the kiss was just a magical fluke. But when a mysterious new coven of witches comes to town and Gwyn's powers begin fading, she and Wells must work together to figure out just what these new witches want and how to restore Gwyn's magic before it's too late. And as a special treat to listeners, be sure to download the custom cross-stitch pattern of the Joneses family motto, never mix vodka and witchcraft, so you can craft while you listen. That's cute. These are really fall feelings, fun. I don't know if I have a favorite between the three. I think, gosh, they're also fun in different ways. I really enjoyed all of them. I mean, I have a hard time giving books 5 stars, and these are 5 stars for me. I really, really loved this series, and I quickly went on to The Wedding Witch, which is number 3. So Wedding Witch is here, and the description is the New York Times bestselling author of The Hex and The Kiss Curse brightens up the winter solstice with another delightfully spooky novel following Bowen Penhallow and the girl he feels strangely drawn to, especially when she becomes his only hope of salvation after a strong spell sends them to a Yuletide celebration more than 50 years in the past. Bowen Penhallow has always been a loner, studying dark and ancient magic on a mountaintop in Wales. He prefers it that way. But when his friend Colin, who happens to be a ghost, asks him to attend a Yuletide wedding at a grand estate deep in the Welsh countryside, Bowen reluctantly agrees. Tamsin Bly is not a witch, but she makes her living off of them. As a procurer and seller of magical items, Tamsin's business is not always above board, but she's been trying to fix that mostly. Bowen is an occasional customer, as well as the star of several of Tamsin's dirtiest dreams, but she's been around enough witches to know that as a human, getting involved with one is not the smartest idea. She's finagled an invite to the witchy wedding of the century in hopes of finally making a score big enough to retire. Just one priceless magical artifact from Tywell House, I don't know how to pronounce that, would set her up for life. But Tamsin isn't the only one sneaking about in Tywell House. And the mix of a very strong spell combined with a wedding mishap transports back Bowen and Tamsin into Tywell's house's past to the Yuletide celebration of 1958. I promise I can read. I promise. Welsh words really challenge me. As Bowen and Tamsin work together and get back to the present, they must also face off with the origin of Tywell's house's haunting, the suspicions of their fellow witches, and the fact that somewhere between the mistletoe and the bonfire, they might be falling in love. So really cute. I have to say, if you're into physically reading, the third book will be the hardest because I listened to, I think I might have read the Hex as a Kindle, and then I think I listened to the audibles of the second and third books. And if I was in charge of figuring out how to pronounce all of those Welsh words, I would have skimmed over them and been very challenged. So I thought the audios were done really well. I enjoyed both of them. I know some people really can't do audiobooks. The books are great on their own, but the third one would probably be the most difficult for me, solely because I have no idea how to pronounce Welsh words. But it was really cozy. If you're still into fall spooky season, I know we're just a couple days past Halloween. Be sure to check those out. Ready to turn your entrepreneurial dreams into reality? Join our 60 Days to Launch a Business course and gain the essential tools, strategies, and confidence to start your own business. Guided by expert insights and practical steps, you'll go from idea to launch in just 60 days or less. It's up to you. The course includes lessons, homework, and the 60 Days to Launch a Business guide of over 100 pages of exactly what I've done to start more than 5 businesses, taking you from ideation to post-launch celebrations. Take the leap of faith in yourself and build the business you've always envisioned. Enroll now and start your journey today. And then I also have some books that I got from Target when I went shopping and wanted to give you guys a little heads up on those as well. I'm going to be starting with the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore by Lori Gilmore. I don't know if Lori Gilmore is actually named Lori Gilmore or she's making a pun on the Gilmore Girls, because this is very much Gilmore Girls vibes. It's a very cute northeastern town, and it is all of the cozy cinnamon bun, fall feels, pumpkin spice. So it says, a small town spicy romance. When a secret message turns up hidden in a book in the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, Hazel can't understand it. As more secret codes appear between the pages, she decides to follow the trail of clues. She just needs someone to help her out. Gorgeous and outgoing fisherman Noah is always up for an adventure, and a scavenger hunt sounds like fun. Even better when the cute bookseller he's been crushing on for months is the one who wants his help. Hazel didn't go looking for romance, but as the treasure hunt leads her and Noah around Dream Harbor, their undeniable chemistry might be just as hot as the fresh out of the oven cinnamon buns the bookstore sells. So cozy, fall feels. If you're looking for a plot, this is not going to have a plot. I mean, they go on a scavenger hunt, and I'm not ruining anything, but there's really not much more plot than the scavenger hunt. That's about it. So this is just a cozy romance, cozy fall feels, very fluffy, well written, but just not plot-driven heavy hitter, which I liked. So we went from romantasy to romance, and my last recommendation is going to be back in romantasy. And I absolutely love Stacey McEwan. She is a TikTok and Instagram author. If you haven't seen her TikToks, they are absolutely hilarious. If you haven't seen her reels, they're beyond funny. My favorite series is where she turns her husband into a fictional book character, or at least tries to convince him to. And I just think it's so funny because James is just the best that I could ever ask for, my favorite human on earth. And I tease him sometimes that he's not as easy as the fictional characters that would just, lay everything on the line for their ladies, which James should be doing too. So I love her personality. I love her comedy and everything. And so I really bought this book because I wanted to see what her writing is like, and I wanted to support her overall. She's a creator, and I love supporting fellow female entrepreneurs and creators. So Ledge is getting into, if you are beyond your fall feelings and want to get into the winter vibes, this is Ledge. So I'll read you back. It's the Glacian Trilogy. And by the way, I am going to be reading all of the other books, which include Pumpkin Spice Cafe from this series. So all of these are full series that I plan to read. I've already read the Hex series, and I do plan to read this series as well with the rest of them in Dream Harbor. And now that I have read Ledge, I also plan to read this full series also. This was really fun, icy mountain vibes, romantasy, very, very different romantasy, very different fantasy, very different elements. I really loved the thought and creativity that went into this. So it's the Glacian Trilogy, Book 1. In a place known as the Ledge, a civilization is trapped by a vast chasm and sheer mountain face. Rations are small, living is tough, and there is no escape without befalling a deathly drop. What's more, every season the people must present themselves as a sacrifice to the Glacians, mysterious and vicious winged creatures who reside beyond the Ledge. Dawson has so far avoided the annual culling, but her luck has run out. She is ripped from her icy home with no idea what will happen to her. Enslaved, murdered, worse. Fortunately, a half-Glacian called Ryan offers to help them both escape. But how can she trust one of the very creatures that plagued her life? Dawson is a survivor, and she is not afraid to cut anyone down alive. With a slow-burning romance, high stakes, and even higher rewards, this richly created new fantasy series by popular TikToker Stacey McEwan will keep you gripped to the very end. Readers looking for a bloody Kill Bill fairy tale will be more than satisfied by Publishers Weekly. That last part was by Publishers Weekly. So I had a lot of fun with this. I think that not every scene do I love, but that is part of the process of a book, that especially on a journey, you're going to go through the hard parts to get to the good parts. So there is one or two scenes that I don't love, and I don't think this is giving anything away, but spoiler alerts if you don't want to hear this. But she has like a meaningless fling with another male character, and I think it's really to show like the life that she was living and the situation she was in and everything. Personally, I don't like there to be more than one love interest, even though he's not a love interest in a romance book, because that's just my preference. I like it when it's nice and just simple, to the point. There's one guy involved, and that's it. That's to me just my only little pet peeve that I have, but that's a pet peeve for every single book that ever does that, because that's just something that it's not on my bingo card, and that's okay. Everything else I really, really loved. I will say it was a bit more Kill Bill than I'm used to. I feel like for fantasy, for the most part, there can be some battles and everything. I feel like there was quite a lot in here, but not long battles or anything. Just, she's a feisty gal that had to fight her way to survival. So obviously there's some of that in there too. But overall, really good winter vibes if you're looking for something, and also good ending. Well, cliffhanger ending, but there are other books in the series, so I do want to pick those up pretty soon. Huge cliffhanger ending, but really good journey. I really enjoyed it. I'm very curious to see where it goes from here, because there was a lot of twists and turns in this book. So this is very plot driven. If you're looking for the most plot driven book of all of the recommendations, that would be this one. So lots of twists and turns in the plot. And I have to say, we went a bunch of places I didn't guess we would go, which is not always easy to get something that surprises me. So I hope you enjoy this selection of spooky, cozy autumn transitions to fall. I feel like that's what this autumn season is all about. It's about the sun, it's about the leaves, and it's about those crisp feelings of cold and winter coming in. So I feel like this was a fun little recap of some of my favorite reads of the season. And I know we already did an autumn season book club, but I couldn't not share these good reads with you. So I hope you guys have a great day. Be sure to subscribe and tag me on social media. Share this with some friends that need some good book recommendations. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining.